Thank you very much. It's absolutely fantastic to be here in Birmingham, where our great Conservative mayor has already taken the precaution of having every street named after him, and great to see so many of you here. What a fantastic crowd at the beginning of what I think is the most important election our country has faced for a generation. I can imagine there might be some people here who weren't too keen on having a general election in the run-up to Christmas. And if you did think that, I'm with you. I didn't want an election, and no Prime Minister, frankly, I love my job, no Prime Minister wants an election, particularly when I'm enjoying. There's so much that we want to get on and do, but my friends, we have no choice. We have a parliament that is paralysed, blocked, generally incapable of digestive function as an anaconda that has swallowed a tapir, neither moving one way or the other, if you see what I mean. This parliament just refuses to get Brexit done, and that's of course bad for our democracy, because we asked the people of this country whether they wanted to stay in the EU. We told them time and again that we would honour their decision, didn't we? We told them whatever they voted for, leave or remain, we would put it into effect. And yet for 3.5 years, we have seen non-stop political manoeuvring to frustrate Brexit and thwart the will of the people. And the result is that the whole Brexit delay is holding us all back. It's like a bendy bus. I banned them in London. A bendy bus jackknifed on a yellow box junction. Nobody can get round it. It's blocking the traffic in every direction. And the uncertainty and the delay are bad for the country, because people need to plan, they need to make investments, to hire new employees, to buy new homes. And we need a new election. We need an election and a new parliament, because we can't go on like this. And because now is the time to make a change and unleash that tidal wave of investment that's going to flow into this country, a great surge of confidence into the UK, and we can do that in just a few weeks, because I'm proud of many things that we've done in the last 108 days. I think it is 108 days. The biggest investments in the NHS for a generation, 40 new hospitals green-lighted as a result of decisions taken by this government, levelling up education funding around the country, more for primary and secondary schools across the country, 20,000 more police officers. Pretty was just talking to you, wasn't she? Great job, Pretty, recruiting 20,000. I've met some of them. I'm proud to say I've already met some of the recruits. Gigabit broadband, 8 years ahead of schedule, sprouting through every orifice, every home, like a kind of very informative vermicelli. I don't know what gigabit broadband is. It's going to be fantastic for our country. We're going to have an infrastructure revolution across the UK. I'm proud of many, many things that we're doing. But most of all, I'm proud of our deal. The deal that they said was impossible. The deal they said we couldn't do. And it's a great deal. I've heard some people in the last few days trying to attack our deal. My friends are trying to cast aspersions on it, and it reminds me a bit of candle sellers at the dawn of the age of the electric light bulb, or makers of typewriters on beholding their first laptop computer. They have a terrible sense that they're about to lose their market, because this deal delivers everything that I campaigned for Brexit. We take back control of our money so we can spend millions more every week on the NHS or whatever priorities we want, hundreds of millions. We can take back control of our borders with an Australian-style points-based system, so we can bring in people, whether they're scientists or agricultural workers, that this country needs, but we can control it. We can take back control of our laws, so we can do things in our own way, do things differently and better when we choose, from free ports to free trade deals, from banning the cruel live shipment of animals to cutting VAT on tampons. We can do things differently in the UK. And under this deal, the crucial thing is the whole of the UK comes out of the EU. England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, whole, entire and perfect. And this deal is ready to go. It's done. I mean, Parliament, before they infuriatingly refused before they delayed it, they actually gave it a preliminary seal of approval, if you remember. It said, it's there. You just whack it in the microwave. I don't know what, I'm not very good at cooking, but gas mark 4, it's there. It's ready, it is ready to go. Prick the lid, put it in, and and then we can get on. We can get on. We get this deal through Parliament, and then get on with all the fantastic projects in which this government is engaged, uniting and levelling up our country, giving people opportunity across our country with better education, better infrastructure, and new technology. That is what this government is all about. It's about giving hope and chance. And we can make those investments. We can make those investments as conservatives with credibility, precisely because we have taken the tough decisions to restore public finances. We've shown that we've managed the economy well, and we've got 9 years of uninterrupted growth, the economy about 20% bigger than it was when we took over in 2010, and record employment in this country. Why? Because we understand the importance of a dynamic market economy. And there is a reason why this party is more trusted on health. Matt Hancock, more trusted on health than his counterpart, and more trusted on education. Gavin Williamson, more trusted than his Labour counterpart on education. Because people can see that we understand how to pay for that whole society, and how we can ensure that society has the wealth to pay for fantastic public services and infrastructure. And that is the balance and the symmetry at the heart of our one nation modern conservatism. And that is the problem with Bolivarian revolutionary socialism as practiced by Jeremy Corbyn and the Labour Party. And the Labour Party always runs out of other people's money. That's what happens. And it will happen again. It's going to happen very soon under this lot. Because they have a deranged plan to spend £196 billion on their friends in the unions, on renationalisation, and to do it, they're going to raise taxes on pensions, on corporations to the highest level in Europe, on inheritance, on homes, on guards. There's a huge list. And as I said before, the tax on guards, I mean, Seven Oaks have to change their name to Three Oaks as a result of what they're doing. And they know themselves. Look at what they're doing. Look at the preparations that they are making. They know that their policies for the economy are ruinous because John McDonnell, remember John McDonnell? He was the guy who was sacked by Ken Livingstone, for preparing a fictitious budget for the GLC. John McDonnell, who's even to the left of Corbyn, says he's preparing for a run on the pound and that he wants to restore exchange controls, which we haven't seen for decades in this country. And so the choice before us is very stark and very clear. I say to everybody, I say to all of you here, tonight, everybody watching, come with us, which is a party that supports a fantastic education for every child in this country, because we believe in opportunity across this country. Or go with Jeremy Corbyn and the Labour Party, who want to expropriate the property of schools and abolish Ofsted, which actually protects kids from bullying in the classroom. We support our armed forces. We believe them. He actually said he wants to ban them. We back our police in the fight against street crime and knife crime. His party thinks that stop and search is oppressive and inappropriate. We want to control our immigration system. He wants unlimited and uncontrolled immigration, no matter what pressure that puts on public services such as the NHS. We want our country to stand tall in the world and to stick by our allies and our values. Well, he's so consumed with a juvenile dislike of America that he actually sides with the mullahs of Tehran rather than Washington. And when Russia ordered the poisoning of innocent civilians in Salisbury, he sided with Vladimir Putin. And there's a key difference that we all face at this election, and that is, above all, come with us and we will get Brexit done. Yeah. Whereas this guy wants nothing more. This guy wants nothing more than dither and delay. He wants a referendum on Scotland because he's told the Scot Nats that he's happy to break up the union if they sustain him in power. And of course, he wants another referendum on the EU. Unbelievable. I mean, he said tonight he wants to have another extension so that he can have another negotiation. But it's not at all clear what he wants to achieve in this negotiation. Does anybody know what he wants to achieve? We don't know. We don't know what question he would like to put to the electorate in this referendum. We don't even know what his own position is. Is he for leave? Is he for leave or for remain? Is he in or out? Do you know? I don't know. Is it forwards or back? I don't know. I don't think he knows himself. In fact, the only bit of flotsam of intelligence to have emerged from the Bermuda Triangle of Labour's Brexit policy is that they're preparing, as I think James just said, they're preparing to do a new deal and then campaign against it 6 months later, with all the futility of those suicidal knights in Monty Python. But there is one thing we do know. There's one thing we do know about his policy, and that is that another referendum on the EU, another Brexit referendum means more delay, it means more uncertainty, it means more acrimony and division in our country when this country is aching to move on. So let's make next year the year of prosperity and growth. Prosperity and growth, not the year of two chaotic referendums. And if I come back with a working majority in Parliament, then I will get Parliament working for you. And on day one of the new Parliament in December, we will start getting our New Deal through so we get Brexit done in January and put the uncertainty behind us. Let's make 2020 about the people of this country and not about its politicians. Let's get out of the rut of the last 3 years and get on with our work as Conservatives of making this country the greatest place in the world to live. The greatest place to start a family, the greatest place to send your kids to school, to start a business, the place that leads the world in clean, green technology and tackling climate change and greenhouse gases. Let's get Brexit done, my friends, and get on with our project of sensible, moderate, back tax-cutting, one nation conservatism, spreading hope and opportunity across the whole of the UK, and let's unleash the potential of this country. Thank you all very much for coming tonight, and I'll see you at the barricades. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.